Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Blue Couch Conversation. This week I have Kyle Brown of Good Time Entertainment. Welcome, Kyle.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Have a seat on the blue couch.
Blue couch.
The big blue couch.
Awesome.
So, tell me about Good Time Entertainment.
Well,
what's your story?
the story is started back in the early 90s, kind of before you were born.
Careful.
What it was is interesting. I started out as the director of entertainment for the Black Angus Square Cow Fun Bar.
My grandma loves that place, so
Thank you.
you're good.
But anyways, the cool part is coming in, not growing up as a DJ, I didn't have baggage brought with me of, mixing and scratching and all that kind of stuff. And they actually put us up in a hotel for 2 weeks straight, where all day long we went through music theory, beats per minute, reading the crowd, and all that kind of stuff.
Like classes.
Like classes.
Wow.
9-10 hours every day. And then we'd have dinner, and then we'd go to the club, and we would work in the booth every night, practicing the things that we learned early in the day. So that's how I started out.
So what city were you in?
Started out in, did my training in Fountain Valley.
Is that a pretty party place where the
Oh
club is?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. There's colleges there, and then I took over. I did work in Buena Park, in Riverside, in Corona, and actually within about 6 months, I moved up to being a rover, which meant anytime somebody called in sick, got fired, or whatever, they would call me and say, "Kyle, we need you in San Diego. Kyle, we need you in Burbank. We need you," and I would cover and DJ all over the entire Southern California area.
An on-call DJ.
On-call DJ, and I had my own nights also. So it was pretty cool. That's how I started out.
Okay.
And they actually moved me to Bakersfield in 1992. Yeah.
Congratulations.
I was like, Baker's where? I took over the Black Angus up here full time. I was their director of entertainment, marketing, and all that kind of stuff. And that lasted about 2 years. And actually, the funny part is, it got so busy that's why they stopped doing entertainment. There would be a line around the building on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturday nights to get in before I even started. Before I came in, I started at 9 o'clock, there'd be a line 7:30, 8 o'clock starting to line up to come into the club. People would drive by for dinner going, "We're not going to dinner there, it's too busy." And there wouldn't be anybody in the dinner house. And that's where their main profit was made. So they eventually made the decision to get rid of entertainment altogether because it was too successful. That doesn't happen very often.
No.
Too successful and you get rid of it.
I mean, nothing against the Black Angus.
No.
I'm just like shocked right now.
Oh, that was crazy because you learn, and it's followed me for the last 20 some odd years. So that's how I started.
So you started there, the Black Angus
Yep.
Steakhouse, and now you work weddings, events.
Oh yeah. And the funny
What
thing
was
is
that transition?
Well, the funny thing is when I left there, still coming up with a company name. My first company name was Two Hype Productions.
Too hype.
Much younger then. Worked for schools, didn't work for corporate, it didn't work for weddings. Eventually we settled on the name Good Time Entertainment in probably 96, 97, and this exploded from there. At one point I actually had 9 DJs working for me. So I was doing 20, 30 events every month. But you couldn't teach what I knew.
Right.
It's a personality thing. You can teach the technician and how to play music and how to do those kinds of things, but you can't teach the passion. You can't teach the learning how to read a crowd. You can't teach those kinds of things, the personality that it takes to be a good master of ceremony.
You have to go stay in 2 weeks in Fountain Valley, it sounds
Exactly. You have to stay 2 weeks in Fountain Valley. Exactly. You got to learn those things. You have to learn how to read the crowd and interact with them.
So in all of your weddings that you've DJ'd and entertainment directed, I guess, have you ever had a fairy godmother experience? And what was that like?
I have. I remember when Colleen first came to me and said she was going to become, she's going to become a coordinator. And there's so much more that she has gone beyond that term, leaps and bounds. She has become an event producer. And the difference is just phenomenal. It's night and day. As somebody who might coordinate, they just come in, they show up, and they kind of try and direct and tell you what to do, and they think they know everything. An event producer is levels beyond that, and what that is, that's somebody who comes in and knows the professionals they're working with and creates an event. You know, me as a wedding entertainment director, the Fairy Godmother team as event producers, we are now collaborators. We are working together on making this event the best that that couple has ever been to, and it's their event that they get to brag about, and their friends and family get to brag about for years and years, and they do. I remember when Colleen first came to me, if she was going to do this, to really consider putting her whole heart into it, and the knowledge and the expertise that it takes to become an event producer. And she jumped in with both feet and just exploded, because she took that to heart. You can talk to any bride and groom who has ever come across an event that she's done, whether they've actually hired them for an event or just been lucky enough to be at an event that they've done. They know the experience and they know the difference, and that's really my experience with them as well. Is they recognize me as a professional, I recognize them as a professional, and together we make the memories that the bride and groom just cherish forever.
I like it. Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
And then you kind of touched on this a little bit, but you were one of the mentors when Colleen was going to open Fairy Godmother.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, what is your best piece of advice to couples when they come to you?
Best piece of advice in talking to brides and grooms, I would say, as important as budget is, you also need to think about what you're going to get for the money. Okay? You want to invest, and I know this is a little self-promoting here, but the success of the reception really boils down to, do you have a good DJ? And is he a good MC? Is he good with problem solving? Is he good with, in the moment, making decisions? And is he going to show up on time? All these little things make a difference to the 150 guests that you have there. If they walk away going, oh my gosh, that was so much fun, then you got your value.
Right.
If they walk away going, another wedding, I hate going to weddings, it's just, then they didn't have a good experience. They need to walk away going, oh my gosh, that was so much fun. I can't wait for the next event.
And I think I mean, from my own personal experience attending weddings, you always know, working a wedding, whatever. If I'm having fun, if the DJ's and I'm working, that's a good DJ.
Yeah.
So
it takes knowing that you're there for their entertainment.
Right.
You're not there for your entertainment.
So total curiosity, how many times have you heard Journeys Don't Stop Believing?
Oh gosh. Well, I would say I've DJ'd 12 to 1,300 weddings. And I have probably heard that, I would say, 700 to 800 times, at least.
Kind of where I was expecting.
And I love that song. I still love that song.
It's a great song, but it's a fan favorite every time.
Oh yeah, it's right up there. Always.
So in all of your experience in these 12 to 1,300 weddings, has there ever been a snafu? Have you had a problem where you're like, oh?
You know, yes, but I've been blessed in the fact that I've never had a problem that the bride and groom have known about. The event eventually, before the bride and groom arrive, have gone off spectacular. The one problem I had that really sticks out in my mind is I was doing an event out of town, and I was doing just the reception. The bride and groom were getting married somewhere else. I get there, I always get there early. I get set up, fire everything up, plays fine. All of a sudden, and this is before anybody's arrived, the music stops. And I walk over to the system, because I was setting up lights and stuff, and I have the blue screen of death on my computer. I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know what to do. I tried refiring the computer. You know, I opened it up, and I know a little bit about computers, so I tried reseating the RAM and the hard drive, and just little things that I don't know what went wrong. Eventually, what I did is I always bring backup. I was able to pull the hard drive out, put in the new computer system, not new, but my backup computer system, pop that hard drive in there, fired it up. 10 minutes later, the bride and groom, hey, they're here. You know, so the guests started showing up, and we were up and running, and Nobody knew any better. So that happens. So having backup equipment and having good equipment in the beginning all makes a difference. So,
well, I'm glad you recovered from that. And
oh yeah.
Well, thank you, Kyle, for joining us on the Blue
I
Couch,
appreciate it.
and thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next week, and don't forget to subscribe.
Darling, I love you. You say goodbye. Away you fly, but on your lips you keep a kiss. All your life you'll dream of this lovely, lovely night.